anomalies. A minimalist that lives on your friend's sofa, but super perfectionist when it comes to like, this chair needs to be sitting in this spot.
Right. And I guess that's just part of choosing your battles, which I tend to choose a lot of battles, but that's why I've just personally put myself on the back burner, because I realize, I mean, I can't focus on both. So instead of like trying to make my life, and trying to fit my life into these things, I just sort of like made this my life, if that makes more sense.
Yeah.
So then I'm like just super excited every day to wake up and like, man, I can't wait to like get to all these like emails and get the emails in line, and I can't wait to like tackle on this and see this project get done.
I've never heard anyone say they can't wait to get to emails.
Well,
you are crazy. But that's okay.
Well, it's about creating that system so that's it's like a little micro business inside of like the bigger business, and then like understanding better about financials and like understanding art direction. So
you're still doing a ton of self-development, it's just through this vehicle.
Right, exactly. So I'm using Goatocado, and Goatocado's using me to push forward. So
talking about like people and like having the right people around you, because I know that is super essential, especially when you're building a business like this. It does require so many people. You recommended a book for me to read that I absolutely love, which is Let My People Go Surfing by the founder of Patagonia, which is awesome. So can you maybe just talk like a little bit about why you like that book?
Yeah, so I read that book after my first season, where I'm in I was depressed for 2 years, like of just trying to, like I had this vision and I didn't really know how to get there.
Right.
But I just felt like we were in this funny time period where people want a purpose in life, and that's what I saw from working at Chesterfield County. And this book sort of it just shared similar visions, and Patagonia has their own approach to how to do that, but it was sort of like I saw myself a lot in Yvonne, and seeing how he started out kind of in the back of his truck, like making these pitons, and never really had this huge vision to, initially it wasn't like, oh, I've got to do this, but he just made changes that better fit the lifestyle in the company. And I just feel like that book really kind of pushed me in a kind of a bad time to say, hey, let's not give up to that. Let's just keep moving forward.
Yeah.
And that, when you find things like that, you just try to hold on to them.
Right.
And that's what keeps you going, because that's the whole thing. It's like, if you give up, I kind of know what's gonna, to me, if you don't, it's like I have no idea what the next day is gonna bring if I just like keep pushing forward, even in those hard times. And it's like, I've already come this far.
Yeah.
There's gonna be plenty of hard times ahead.
For sure. Especially with the kind of growth that you hope to have, right?
Right.
It's inevitable.
Well, and somebody once told me you wanna be, it's not the people who admit that they don't know what they're doing, it's the people who say that they know how to do everything that you need to watch out for, because you often find that those people can end up over-promising and sort of under-delivering, and other people, I
agree with that wholeheartedly.
Yeah.
Like, I never pretend that I know what I'm doing.
Yeah. Well, I think
it's always a learning process, and even though I come with experiences, that doesn't mean like I have all the answers, but
exactly.
I'll be willing to like try stuff.
Right, and you work through those problems that occur, and I think that's the right mindset to have as, a business owner or trying to run a business is, hey, things happen. How can I calm down my panic attack right now so I can deal with these issues, and then hopefully work alongside, my people, and be a good leader in that way, not like sitting high up in a chair and saying like, all right, everybody, like, you do all this stuff.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go dip for the next like couple months and go to wherever. It's like you have to be there, and and that's part of creating that culture. Like you can't fake what we're doing. It's like if anybody wants to hear, like,
Yeah, no, it's on the plate every day.
It's on the plate every day. And it's like people ask us, it's like we have this very we have this organic, natural, local feel, but if you ask me like what's what's local, what's organic, what's this, and I'll run through everything with you. I'm not trying to hide anything. It's not like that. It's just, come here, ask us, talk to us, have a conversation with us. Why do we make the choices that we make? I can tell you why I make almost every choice that I make, like food-wise and things like that. So
not just food, like materials.
Materials, right. Right, everything.
Literally from like menu paper,
right,
like
exactly.
what your staff is wearing.
Right.
You've thought about it.
Yeah, I've at least thought about it, whether or not I've come to a conclusion. And oftentimes that's where I rely on the team. That's how I do things as well. Is it's not, once again, I'm not saying I have the best answer for everything. I'm saying, you know, we're here, we're learning together. I've got some ideas. I may have the final say on it, on something, but I really need everybody's feedback to make this company I have to do that not only because of my personality type, but it's also because that's what the company kind of represents and stands for. And that's very much so like what I want. So it only makes sense to kind of have those checks and balances. So, you know.
And you just can't do it all.
You can't do it all, right? So you got to help.
Impossible.
You got to have other people just be that check. Because I'm going to have 50 ideas and someone's going to say, well, Ian.
At least.
Yeah, at least 50 ideas. They're going to say, Ian, you know, at the end of the day, that's not going to matter. So let's not focus on that quite as much as you are. Not that, you know, it's not important, but let's like focus on these other things right now. And then having that reality check, having that balance, or just immaterial usage can help.
I think it takes a very confident leader to be open to that. Like to have an idea and have someone say, like, let's focus on something else and consider it and then say yes or no. I mean, that's major to be able to do that. So knowing you and knowing how you work, I know this restaurant's only been open for 3 months, but like that doesn't mean something new is not on the horizon. So what do you think the next steps for growth are for you?
We have a couple different ideas and concepts. One is we built this kitchen out. Most restaurants, the seating capacity is about 3/4 of the restaurant, and the kitchen's about 1/4. Ours is the opposite, so it's about 3/4 a kitchen. And because of that, we're able to produce and hold and store, and you know, just make a lot of food here. And so one idea is like we could, in the city, open up another spot, maybe near MCV or VCU or in Church Hill or in Scott's Addition, that's we're not necessarily preparing everything there, but we're sort of using this as our commissary and then sending things over to these smaller locations.
So kind of like a food truck, but not on wheels?
Exactly.
Got it.
So, you know, we'd still
really
have options.
Concept.
Yeah, and we kind of toyed with that, you know, with the kiosk idea, like we did with Ginger Juice and Carytown Bikes.
Right.
But I think that was sort of, you know, I kind of failed in that by underplaying it a little bit and not, like if we had had a hood there, we could have been, you know, for instance, marinating our chicken here and sending it over there and grilling it fresh right there on the spot and things like that, that would have helped, you know, create the kind of environment where people want to go eat.
Okay, so the idea of a like brick and mortar food cart type of business is one of the ideas that you have as far as expansion. Anything else on the radar as far as next steps for Goatocado?
Yeah, I think we would, you know, just the way that we have this building built out and everything, we would love to start looking at possibly putting down another location elsewhere, have it be sort of, you know, it wouldn't need to be as big as this place. We could be half the size.
Yeah.
But we'd be preparing a lot of the food here and then sending it out to these other locations. And that mindset sort of comes, as you mentioned, from that food truck sort of background where you have your hub and then you can disperse food into multiple locations and go to the people. But it's so important to have, for what we're doing, to have a facility like this.
Yeah.
And that's why, you know, a lot of people were like worried about the location when we first kind of came on here. And I wasn't super concerned because I was like, we need a hub.
Right.
And I'm going to make this hub look as nice as I can.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, it's a hub
seems
too.
To be working out just.
I think it's working out just fine. I'm super stoked. Like I said, I had no expectations, and I don't know. I'm loving it. I think everybody here is having a great time. I think the employees seem to be having a lot of fun.
What more can you ask for?
Yeah.
So I know that like additional locations are like logical next steps, but like you're not always a logical person. Like you always have like the way bigger vision. So can I have like a tiny like taste of what is still that way bigger vision?
Goatocado in space.
I wish you were joking, but you're probably not.
I am probably not.
So I think at one time it was take on Chipotle.
Yeah.
Is that?
And it's not, I wouldn't say take on Chipotle, but I said that kind of like in that combative sort of fun sense.
Right.
But I think it's just sort of aid in what they're doing in the food movement. And there's plenty of other companies.
Right.
You know, there's a Kava that's coming to VCU. Apparently they're opening up some other locations as well. There's Sweet Greens. You know, there's other companies
Right.
that are doing similar things.
Expanding as far as like the thoughtful food production and delivery movement, like not like having those relationships with your purveyors and serving food that is healthy and fresh. That's more the mission.
Exactly, and just sort of being open and honest with people. That's what I think is difficult that I've seen in the glimpse that I have had in other, you know, parts of this industry, is that that's one thing that I'm not much of like a businessman in the sense of it's all about the bottom line. To me, the bottom line, that is not the bottom line at all. It's all about being passionate and caring about what you're doing and caring about the people that you're working beside and trying to take care of what we have. My thought is, you know, some people are like, oh, we're humans, we're on the top of the food chain. My thought process is, well, no, having been born as we have, it's now our social responsibility to take care of what's around us. And that's a huge responsibility, right? And you know, we're not always doing the best job at that, but that's sort of what Goatocado is supposed to be kind of about, where yes, we make mistakes, but let's not continue to make mistakes. Mm-hmm. And we will continue, but it's like, let's right. have that conversation to make things better, you know? And that's what a lot of we are as a company is about. And growing together as a people and having that discussion and talking with one another, right. Communicating, you know, that's huge. Communication's huge.
And also eating really delicious food.
And also eating really delicious food, which, you know, makes sense for the environment. That's why you know, it's mostly plant-based and,
yeah.
You know, all those sorts of things.
And I think food is a really great place to start those conversations because everyone is participating in that. It is a very social activity, so you can use that as a vehicle to spread that message much easier than you can in other industries.
Definitely, and that was one of the reasons too why I chose food, is because people have to eat. You know, you can go without your cell phone, you can continue to exist without those things, but like you need certain things. Right, you can go without a house. Right.
Sofa.
Right, you can live on somebody's sofa. You can live out of your car, you can live out of a warehouse, you know. But you can't live without food, at least not yet. So it's like that to me was a great place to start with like these necessities. And that's where sort of the minimalist mindset, like you're saying, you know, it kind of ties into the company in that way.
But. Well, Ian, thank you so much for talking with me and just for being like my friend and inspiring me to be a better business owner.
I've loved seeing your story unfold.
Thank you.
It's hard to remember frustrations and pains. Like you can associate with those things, but I'm always like, those things are temporary. Right. And so you just keep pushing forward.